Welcome everybody to the Keeping Score podcast from the Daily Interlake. As always, I'm your host, Josh Amick. This week on the Range Riders Recap, the final week of the regular season comes to an end. We look ahead at their playoff matchup on Tuesday against a familiar foe. So without further ado, let's get right into it. For the final week of the regular season, the Range Riders traveled to Ogden, Utah to take on the Raptors for a 6-game series. In Game 1 of the series, they came out on top 8-4 as Ben Fitzgerald and Kingston Liniak homered. Cooper Benson pitched 5 solid innings, and the Range Riders took Game 1 of the series. In Game 2, Ryan McCarthy hit his 6th home run of the season en route to a 3-for-4 day, but the Range Riders lost in the knockout round 7-6. The Range Riders held a 6-4 lead heading into the bottom of the 9th when the Raptors' Cole Jordan hit a 2-run single to tie the game 6-6 and eventually won the game in the knockout round. Game 3, the offense couldn't get anything going as the Range Riders were no hit by the Raptors and they lost the game 8-0. Not a lot to cover for that game. Friday, however, was my game of the week as the Range Riders won a back-and-forth game 9-8. Noah Owen held the Raptors scoreless over the final 3 frames, and the Riders held on to a 5-0 lead to eventually win the game 9-8. Saturday, the Range Riders lost a heartbreaker as they took a 13-12 lead into the bottom of the 9th before losing the game 14-13. Ryan McCarthy hit 2 of the 4 Range Riders home runs, including a 2-run go-ahead home run in the 9th. Kingston Liniak and Ben Fitzgerald also homered, but the bullpen just couldn't hold on to the lead to close out the game. In the final game of the regular season, the Range Riders won easily 10-3. Ben Fitzgerald homered again, his 17th of the season, and Chad Castillo went 3-for-4 and drove in 3 runs. The Range Riders rested their starting pitchers ahead of their playoff matchup and used 5 combined pitchers to get the win. That's it for the Range Riders recap, so here's this week's in case you missed it. The regular season may be ending, but playoff baseball is just beginning here in the Valley. It was announced via social media that the Range Riders are hosting a familiar opponent on Tuesday in the Missoula PaddleHeads. Missoula finished the season with the best overall record and the best record in the first half to secure their playoff spot, going 61-34. The Range Riders finished with the second best record in the first half and the 6th best record overall. So let's break down this matchup. Missoula finished the season with the top-ranked offense, but the second half of the season looked a little different. 37 of their 61 wins came in that first half, and their offense cooled down quite a bit in the second half. Also during this time, the Range Riders added 4 new pitchers who have only faced the PaddleHeads a few times throughout that season. While they struggled a lot in the second half, the starting rotation for the Riders looks drastically different than their previous matchups, and that unfamiliarity could play in the Riders' favor. My key to this series, keep Adam Fogel contained. He broke the single-season Pioneer League home run record, and he is the driving force behind the PaddleHeads offense. Stop Fogel, you stop the PaddleHeads. My other key to this series is have a short memory. The Range Riders were 8-16 in the 24 matchups with the PaddleHeads, but none of that matters now. The matchups have changed quite a bit since then, and according to Kingston Liniak, they have all the confidence in their clubhouse.
This is probably the most talented team in this league, so there should be no problem with winning games.
That's it for the Range Riders regular season recap, but stay tuned to the podcast as we are still awaiting the time for their game on Tuesday. But we will have a playoff recap and a special behind-the-scenes look when those playoffs start Tuesday night. For the Keeping Score podcast from the Daily Interlake, I've been your host, Josh Amick, and until next time, take care.